You encourage viewers to like the video if they enjoy it, subscribe to the channel and enable notifications so they don't miss any future videos. It is a common practice for content creators on social media platforms to engage their audience and increase their visibility. Snakes are fascinating and often fearsome creatures. The saw-scaled viper, also known as the horned viper, is indeed a venomous snake. It is native to the Middle East and Central Asia. Here is some additional information about this particular species. Size: as you mentioned, the saw-scaled viper is relatively small, measuring about 60 centimeters from head to tail. Venom: its dangerousness lies in the power of its venom. It can produce up to 72 milligrams of dry venom, which is a considerable amount for a snake of its size. The venom is potent enough to be fatal, with a dose of just 5 milligrams capable of killing a healthy adult male. Distribution: this species of viper is widespread in the Middle East and Central Asia. Its venom is responsible for a significant number of cases of fatal bites in these regions. Bite symptoms: a bite from the saw-scaled viper can cause serious symptoms, including bleeding. The victim may experience significant blood loss from various orifices of the body. It is important to note that although these snakes are dangerous, they are not aggressive by nature and generally prefer to avoid confrontations with humans. However, it is crucial to take precautions and exercise caution when in areas where these snakes may be present. The black and yellow sea snake is not a known species. However, the most feared sea snake due to its danger to humans is the black-headed sea snake, Hydrophis elegans, also called the black and yellow sea snake. This sea snake is indeed venomous and can be dangerous for humans if bitten. It is often found in the tropical and subtropical waters of the Indian Ocean and the Pacific Ocean. However, it is important to note that sea snake attacks on humans are relatively rare, as these snakes generally prefer to avoid interactions with human beings. It is always recommended to avoid contact with sea snakes as their venom can be potentially fatal. If you are bitten by a sea snake, it is essential to seek immediate medical assistance. The Jararaca viper, Bothrops jararaca, is in fact a species of venomous snake of the Viperidae family, native to southeastern South America, including the Amazon rainforest. It can reach approximately 1.62 meters in length. Its name, Jararaca, is probably what you meant to write. This viper is known to be particularly dangerous due to its venom, which contains various proteins with potentially lethal properties. The venom can cause blood clotting, intense bleeding, and other serious systemic effects. It is true that the Jararaca often hides under plant covers in its natural habitat, making it potentially dangerous to people who might inadvertently disturb it. Jararaca bites can cause rapid swelling, severe hypotension, and significant bleeding. It is important to take precautions when in areas where these snakes are present, especially by wearing appropriate footwear and being careful where you walk. Bites from venomous snakes require immediate medical intervention. The affected organism. The description you provide seems to describe the snake as Terry the Good Guy Hanley. However, it is important to note that this description is fictional and does not correspond to any actual snake species. This appears to be a literary creation or illustrative example. It is true that in the animal kingdom, many animals use bright, shimmering colors as a means of communication, whether to attract a mate, warn of danger, or deter predators. However, the idea that a reptile's color is directly related to the toxicity of its venom is a generalization that does not apply to all species. Nature has its own variations and exceptions. The description you give of the dragon-like vipers from Peter Jackson's trilogy, with prominent scales, spiny bodies, etc., does not match the characteristics of actual vipers. Vipers are venomous snakes that generally have a rather different appearance than described in your text. When it comes to sea snakes, the ornate sea snake is indeed one of the most venomous sea snakes. However, it is important to note that the probability of encountering this snake is very low unless you are into scuba diving in the specific waters mentioned: Taiwan, South China, Vietnam, etc. It is always important to take appropriate precautions when in areas where venomous snakes may be present, and knowledge of the local species is essential to avoid danger. The coral snake, so named because of its magnificent shimmering colors that adorn its scales, is indeed reputed to be one of the most venomous snakes in the world. However, it is important to note that some information in your text may be inaccurate. I will clarify a few points. The coral snake is in fact a generic name which designates several species of venomous snakes belonging to the Elapidae family, present particularly in Asia and South America. Coral snake species in North America are generally not considered particularly dangerous to humans. The description of its venom causing fatal epileptic seizures and acting directly on the area of the brain that manages pain is incorrect. Coral snakes typically have a neurotoxic venom that affects the nervous system, but symptoms can vary. It is true that coral snakes have relatively large venom glands relative to their size, but the description that they extend a quarter of their body length in some areas of the globe is not accurate. The anatomical characteristics of snakes vary between species. Finally, the mention that the coral snake attacks and wipes out other highly venomous snakes, such as cobras, is interesting but does not correspond to widespread behavior among all species of coral snakes. Interactions between different species of snakes can be complex and depend on a variety of factors. Australian desert, the North American horned rattlesnake, and the Middle Eastern scorpion-tailed viper are some examples of these fearsome predators. These snakes have evolved amazing adaptations to survive in arid environments, such as the ability to camouflage themselves among rocks and attract prey using their tail appendage. In this scene, the narration describes an Iranian horn-tailed viper, one of the most venomous in the world. Its caudal appendage, which resembles a large desert spider, is used to attract prey such as birds or small mammals. These animals, deceived by the appearance of the appendage, approach thinking they are dealing with easy prey, but end up becoming the viper's meal. The viper's ability to blend into its rocky environment and use its appendage for hunting demonstrates the complex strategies developed by these snakes to ensure their survival in hostile habitats. The desert taipan, also called the inland sea snake, is actually one of the most venomous snakes in the world, but it is not brown. Rather, it has a generally light color, ranging from beige to light brown. It is important to note that desert taipan venom is extremely toxic, but exact toxicity figures can vary depending on sources. However, it is generally recognized as one of the most potent venoms among terrestrial snakes. When it comes to comparison with other snakes, it is difficult to provide exact numbers because venom toxicity depends on several factors, including the amount of venom injected, the size of the victim, and the individual response to toxicity. It is always better to take information about venomous animals from reliable and up-to-date sources, as the data may evolve with new discoveries and research. Seems difficult to confuse it with a North American black snake. The information you shared describes a venomous snake whose venom remains active even after more than 70 years. However, there seems to be a confusion in the text, as it mentions that this venomous snake only inhabits the vast deserts of Australia, but then talks about the black snakes of North America. It is essential to note that the Sahara is not located in Australia, but in North Africa, mainly in countries like Morocco, Algeria, Tunisia, Libya, Mali, and Niger. Venomous Australian desert snakes include species such as the bull snake, tiger snake, and brown death snake. As for the black snakes of North America, it is specified that they are not venomous and that they mainly feed on species considered harmful by farmers. It is mentioned that they are well tolerated due to their contribution to regulating populations of insects and other small animals. It is always important to be aware of local wildlife during outdoor activities and take appropriate precautions, although North American black snakes do not pose a danger to humans. It seems that you are talking about a potentially dangerous snake, fast and capable of inflicting several blows with its fangs when it feels threatened. However, it is important to note that the description you gave is quite general and does not accurately identify the type of snake in question. If you have more specific information about this snake, such as its scientific name or distinguishing characteristics, that might help better understand which snake you are talking about. In any case, it is always essential to take precautions around snakes, especially if they are potentially dangerous. Do not forget to subscribe.